So, welcome, John. Thank you very, very much for taking your time. And just thought you'd give a little introduction on yourself, and then we'll get right into the question part of it.
Okay, thanks very much, Joel. My pleasure to be here. Happy to chat with you folks and to take whatever questions that might come my way. I'm the president and CEO of a franchise management company called Heritage Capital Corporation, and we've been involved in a number of different brands, including ProShred, which is a mobile paper shredding and recycling franchise system. For refuel on-site diesel refueling program, and and of course, Two Men in a Truck, which is a local and regional moving company. So we're pretty excited about launching the new Koala Insulation program or platform for Canada. We're the master franchise holders there. But my background has been in franchising for approximately 40 years now. And I've worked with about a dozen different franchise systems over that period of time, and have been instrumental in recruiting and awarding over 1,000 franchises in both Canada, United States, and internationally. I sit on the board of directors with the Canadian Franchise Association, so very active in the franchise community. So that's just a little bit of background, Joel.
That was great. I heard a little bit about Two Men in a Truck, and I know that wherever I go on the streets, I always see the trucks out there. So that was a great development in Canada and the U.S. And how do you see your new venture going in the development process?
Yeah, so really enjoyed rolling out the Two Men in a Truck program across Canada. Um, when we looked at we purchased the master franchise rights for Two Men in a Truck, which was a very successful local and regional moving company in the U.S. And we set up offices, franchises from Vancouver, British Columbia on the west coast, all the way through to Sydney, Nova Scotia on the east coast. So about 35 offices across the country, and providing local, regional, long distance moving store services, storage, and sale of moving supplies and things like that. So we built that from the ground zero to a very large and very successful business. And with that behind us now, like the development complete there, we've got an opportunity or an interest in building another brand. So we purchased the master franchise rights for Koala Insulation. What really excites me about Koala is that it's an industry that's very similar to that of the moving industry. So when we first looked at the moving industry, highly fragmented market. So no clear leader in the moving and storage industry. A lot of mom and pops out there, an industry that sort of lacked professionalism. And we see those same things with Koala. So there's nobody really that dominates the insulation market. There's a lot of independents out there, and a lot of those independents maybe only have one or two trucks. Maybe they don't provide a full range of services, and maybe they aren't as professional as they should be. So we're looking to establish a Koala franchise in every major market from BC right across the country to Atlantic Canada. So very excited about that. With Two Men in a Truck, we put 350 trucks on the road to cover all the major markets across the country, and we'll probably do something very similar with Koala over time.
So what would be the mission? Tell the audience what your mission of the company and your vision of company. I know it's in the States. I know it's did a rapid growth in the U.S. And I think you have over 400 locations. I've read up. Maybe discuss what your mission statement is or what your mission is.
Yeah. So the 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 opportunity is significant with koala. So, the world right now with climate change, everyone's concerned about sustainability, right? Reducing carbon footprint, things like that. So, here's a franchise opportunity that allows you to make a difference in the world. If we look at our homes, our businesses, our industrial buildings, they generate so like they're the largest one of the largest generator of carbon emissions globally. So CO2 emissions from our homes, our building and industrial businesses exceeds that of the trucking and transportation industry. So trucks and airplanes and locomotives and things like that. So we really need to tighten up our buildings. We need to make them much more energy efficient, and that will make a major improvement when it comes to our climate. So, we boil it down to a customer by customer basis, like what's the vision or the mission of our company, is we want to make your homes more comfortable. We want to make your homes and, buildings, more energy efficient. We want to save our customers money. So, those are sort of the things that we look to achieve on a job by job basis. And Joel, you're right. Yeah, the need for insulation and air sealing and vapor barriers and things like that is significant. And so the demand for services is significant, and that's why the company is growing over the last 4 years from zero to 400 franchise territories so quickly.
Which it was amazing. I think you were voted out as one of the 2024 one of the most emerging brands out there. So congratulated to you, your team, to the U.S. on that. Um,
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
so tell me, maybe give the audience a little bit of the structure of how this works, because I know there's more than just insulation you do or forms. There's more than one way, I guess, to services or make money or however you want to
Yeah,
call it.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that's nice about Koala Insulation is that we're both a full service insulation company, and we're a professional organization. So there are a number of competitors in the industry that simply do spray foam. There are other competitors out there that simply do blow-in insulation. We do all of the above. So we install bats, we do the blow-in insulation, we do the spray foam insulation. Spray foam, we have open cell and closed cell, and those have different properties. We do a lot of our customers have had squirrels and raccoons in their attic, and the insulation is all messed up and the insulation is soiled. So we can do the insulation removal. And once we remove all that insulation, oftentimes we see that there are a lot of gaps in ceilings and gaps in walls and things like that, where there's a lot of air leakage from the main part of the building into the attic. So we do the ceiling as well, and we replace all of that insulation. And very few people in Canada have attic hatch covers, so it's like a insulation type cover around the attic opening. So we can install those while we're there. And oftentimes we get called into customers' homes because maybe their upstairs is too warm in the summertime. And when we do an inspection, it's not an insulation problem. It's a ventilation problem where there's just too much hot air in the attic, and it needs to be evacuated. So we sell solar mounted fans for the roof that will draw all that warm air out of the attic. So the customers rooms on the upper level are cooled down properly with the HVAC. So we understand buildings, and we understand building science, and we go to each and every customer's home. We talk to them about their issues, And we get up in the attic and we take a look around. We get down in the basement, we look at their furnace, we look at their air conditioner, and we try to get a full understanding of the building and the issues and the requirements. And then we sit down and we give the customer a very specific recommendation as how to make their home more comfortable, or how to reduce their energy consumption, and give them some sort of idea as to the savings that they're going to accrue to their benefit after the job is done. So full service company, and very professional in what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I see the truck in the back of my picture. It's and I was at your office. Amazing how you're going to take the franchisee through the training process, and the trucks too. But we'll get into the trucks a little bit later. Want to talk about what type of franchisee, because until I came to your office and the few times I was there, I understand now what insulation's all about. What type of franchisee are you looking for? Someone that's been in the business, not in the business, sales oriented? Maybe let our community know that.
Yeah, okay. The no previous experience in the insulation industry is required. So we will teach the new business owner everything that they need to know about insulation and its installation or removal. So the key to success really is strong interpersonal skills, strong communication skills, and someone who's comfortable with the selling, the marketing, and the promoting. So, someone who enjoys talking to customers about the products and the services. If there's a business background or financial background, that's a good thing, because we're looking for our franchisees to build, multi-million-dollar business units. So, the more business savvy and the more business experience they have, the better. But like I said, don't need to know anything about insulation. We can teach you how to do that.
Yeah, so it was amazing how in the few hours that I was with you, John, how I know a great appreciation on insulation. So thank you for that. So tell me a little bit about how you're going to train these franchisees. I know that you have some high tech equipment, and let maybe tell the community that.
Yeah. So training is one of our key strengths, and that really does, having well educated operators, allows us to set ourselves apart from the competition out there. So we err on the side of providing too much training rather than too little. So it all starts with a visit to Melbourne, and that's Melbourne, Florida, not Melbourne, Australia. So, and you spend a week at the parent company's headquarters, and it's really cool. They actually have a building there, and they have attics there. And as part of my training, I went through that. And you put on your appropriate garb and gear, and you climb up into the attic, and you actually remove insulation, and you actually put insulation back in. You do the spray foam, the both open and closed cell. You do bat insulation. So there's a lot of hands-on training in Melbourne. So you get to work with all of the different products and services that we provide. Um, we've The other thing that really sets us apart from our competitors as well as our technology. So we work with a very customized program called ServiceMinder, and that tracks a lead, like from digital marketing activity into the software program. And then we can contact that customer. We can schedule an appointment to see that customer through ServiceMinder. We can create an estimate, and then through ServiceMinder, we can create the invoice. And then ServiceMinder connects with our bookkeeping system or accounting system, QuickBooks. So it's a fully integrated system. So while you're in the U.S. At the head office, you have some time to work with the ServiceMinder program, and see how that all works as well. Once you go through the week of training and in Melbourne, Florida, and that's something that would be fun to do in the middle of the winter. You return to Toronto, and we do some hands-on training with you here at our office at the Shepherd and the Don Valley Parkway. And we spend a lot of time on sales and marketing and lead generation and things like that here. And of course, we reinforce everything that was covered in Florida. And then when it comes time to open your franchise, we go through a whole onboarding program with all of our new franchisees. Like we have a whole onboarding list, all the things that need to be done from day one to the day that you open. So you have a franchise business consultant that works with you through that whole process. But then that franchise business consultant will go out and spend a week or so with you in your office and help you get set up and get the first few jobs under your belt. So training programs are pretty significant. At the end of the day, insulation is not rocket science. That's fairly straightforward what those products do. But it's the sales, it's the marketing, it's the technology that we utilize that allows us to outperform the competition and scale the business.
So tell me, I see. So let's get now back to the truck in the background that I have on my
Yeah,
screensaver.
yeah.
Come in. We've talked to you. The franchisee is excited to come on board. What's involved with after the training? What do we need a location? How many trucks do we have? What are these? What's the truck behind me? You know, maybe go over that process of what's needed and what's included to set up the business.
Yeah. So the if a new franchisee paid cash for everything, the investment would be somewhere around $600,000. So fairly significant investment. Like I say, if you paid cash for everything, and and then there's some working capital that's required over and above that. But the most expensive part of that investment are the trucks and the equipment. So there are two trucks that every franchise will start with two trucks. One which does the blow-in insulation, which is the fluffy stuff that you blow in an attic or other places through a tube. And then the second truck is the spray foam truck. And the spray foam truck has a lot of very specialized equipment on it. So those two pieces of equipment represent um, just double check my numbers here, represents $425,000 of the $600,000 investment. So it's like buying a couple of Maseratis, I guess. Like they're expensive, but like you would a car or other types of trucks, they're leased or they're financed over a 5 or a 7 year period of time. So you put a 20% deposit down on the truck, or 25% deposit, and then you lease or you finance that equipment over that period of time. So it's a monthly payment of two or three or $4,000 a month. You've got your franchise fee, of course. Franchise fee is $49,500 for one territory. We found, Joel, that most of our franchisees, get excited about the opportunity and they buy 2 or 3 territories so that they have a much larger piece of geography to work with. And we're fine with that. Still start with the 2 trucks, the one blow-in truck and the one spray foam truck. And then most of the franchisees are start to add additional trucks in year 2. So they're going to need another blow-in truck. They're going to need another spray foam truck. So they build their fleet. So just like 2 men in a truck, the average franchisee over time had 10 moving trucks in their fleet. We expect that they'll have 4, 6, 8, 10 Koala trucks in their fleet as the business matures over time.
So that's excellent. Now I know you have a franchisee, so congratulate that. Where is the franchisee again?
Yeah, first franchise with Koala we set up in Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo. and that's a territory that's approximately three territories. And they've started with their two trucks. And I was just speaking with the franchisee over the weekend, and they were telling me that they've only been open now for about 4 weeks, but they have jobs booked every day this week. So the crews are busy Monday through Friday with jobs.
And which is good, and I know we talked about that they're looking at, I guess the majority, and correct me if I'm wrong, will be residential, but I think maybe they'll get also some commercial opportunities too.
Yeah, that's the magic of the business, is that there are so many people that are, renovating their homes, upgrading their homes, looking to improve the energy efficiency of their homes. That the majority of our business is typically retrofits, working with those builders that do renovations. But the magic, you can branch out and you can do commercial work, you can do industrial work. And our first franchisees in KW, um, they were asked to quote on a spray foam job for a 7-story apartment building, and so they provided a quote, and they're on the short list. I'm pleased to say, for $467,000.
Wow.
So that's a lot of spray foam, but it's also a lot of building to be covered. So there's some big jobs out there. If the franchisee wants to branch out and do those commercial jobs, and why not? There's lots of opportunity, and uh, just you got your residential, you got your commercial, you've got your industrial, um, and put your salespeople on the road, and generate business in all those areas.
So let's talk about employees. When you start, everybody, and I get this question a lot. How am I going to find employees? Is this a specialty employee? I mean, employees always in business is part of the ongoing, I guess, concern for any business. Maybe some of our community may be nervous a little bit about what type of employee we'll need. Maybe you can go over what would be the structure.
Yeah. So, I'll go back to our very first franchise here in Canada as well. The Kitchener Waterloo franchise, and the two owners there, Greg and Justin, they just reached out to employees, to candidates that were working with competitors, and those individuals came through for interviews. And when Justin and Greg showed them the trucks and showed them the equipment, like they were just astounded. Like our spray foam truck, we've got, we use a Graco machine, an E320, and that's like it's like flying a jumbo jet. It's like the best piece of equipment in the marketplace, and provides the best possible result. It's all electronic, and it digital, and it figures everything out. So it makes applying spray foam sort of idiot proof. So Mike and Johnny, the crew that they hired, worked elsewhere, and they made the jump to Koala because of the quality of the equipment that Koala brings to the marketplace. And they started with the one crew, Mike and Johnny. And while they're primarily interested in doing the spray foam, in the beginning they said, we'll do the blow-in insulation as well. So we'll flip back and forth from truck to truck to help you get started. And then, once you can warrant a full-time crew for the other truck, then we'll just focus on the spray foam. So that's the way that they've got started. And the franchisee, we prefer a franchisee to be involved in the business on a day-to-day basis, but it can also be an executive model. You need somebody to run operations, and you need somebody to run sales. So, a lot of the franchisees in the system are involved in the sales process, and then the your first crew. You'll hopefully find somebody from the first crews that you hire that can be promoted to be your operations manager over time. In talking to all of the U.S. franchisees before we got involved in the system, Joel, I was like astounded that they were all booking like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. So if a customer wanted a job done, they had to wait for like 3 weeks for Koala to show up. So it's nice to have all those jobs booked and have everything sort of scheduled in advance, but you don't want it to get too far ahead of you because you want to be responsive to the customer's needs as well. So when you hire your staff, you need somebody drumming up going out doing the estimates, right, and booking the jobs, and then of course you need the guys on the trucks that can actually you know install or remove the insulation.
So you're new to the market, not, and one location. Great to hear that, that big job after just being open for 4 weeks. So somehow, how did this happen? Like, how are you going to now be new to the market? I know the community out there is going to say, how are you going to support them? How are they going to get leads? Are you doing anything different to help their franchisee in marketing and getting new leads for them? Or they're just going to go out and do, their own lead generation?
Okay, great question. Love it, Joel. One of the things, like I said, we're really good at is selling, marketing, and promoting. And it was the same with Two Men in a Truck as well. When we entered the moving industry, there was nobody that was, being proactive with the sales and the marketing and the promotion. Just a lot of mom and pop movers out there, right? And they would get their jobs through referral and things like that. Well, we took 2 Men in a Truck from 0 to 60 miles an hour in a relatively short period of time through the being proactive with our advertising and marketing, and that's the Koala model as well. So we do a lot of pay per click, and so if somebody's looking for insulation or energy savings, like they'll trip across Koala very quickly. And we follow up on those leads, the speed to lead. So we're following up on those leads quickly. We've got all the appropriate sales and marketing materials to pass along to the prospective customer. So just very proactive from a marketing perspective. And as we talk to industry experts, Joel, one of the things that the industry experts were telling me, and I was really glad to hear it, said, "You guys are like amazing. Like you sell, you market, you promote. That's the biggest issue in the industry right now. So there's this guy over here. He's a real good spray foamer, but that's all he does. He drives his truck and he does spray foam. He doesn't do a lot of the selling, the marketing, and the promoting. Or there's this other guy over here who's really good with the blow-in insulation. He's got one truck, but he really doesn't do a lot of selling, marketing, and promoting. So and just stop and think too, like when was the last time that you got in your mailbox like a piece of direct mail that talked about insulation? Um, I sort of monitor those things, and I've never got one. But if we were getting mail, which
Yeah.
we aren't right now, but if we were getting mail, I would have one or two direct mail pieces from some real estate agents. I'd have one or two direct mail pieces from window manufacturers. I'd have one or two pieces in there from people that sell blinds and things like that. But nobody really is advertising, marketing, and promoting insulation services. So there's a void there, and we're going to fill that void. So we'll drive a lot of leads to our website, and that will explain all of the different products and services that we provide. And then customer will put in their postal code, and then they'll be directed to the closest Koala franchise. And that closest Koala franchisee will then follow up with that customer. And we just turned that landing page and the website on just a few weeks ago, and the lead flow is picking up dramatically. And like I say, our first franchisee there now, they're booked this entire week, which is exciting.
Which is exciting because it's, you said, a month and already, they're fully booked. That means it sounds like, again, short time to get, up and running and starting. What about ongoing support, inventory control, or, where do you get the materials? Like all this, where do they find all this materials? Do you have accounting systems? Maybe explain what you've set up in Canada, because my understanding is that you want to go across Canada.
Yeah, so we provide a turnkey franchise opportunity for all of our new owners. So we source the trucks through Isuzu. We've got a box builder that builds the truck. We've got a group that installs the both the spray foam equipment and the blow-in equipment. So it's in another group that does the decal package. So when a prospective franchisee says, "Giddy up, let's get going," we just make one phone call and the trucks in the equipment installation is underway. So that might be a 8 or 10 or 12 weeks to complete the two trucks. So that's all covered. Um, and as far as all of the other insulation products go, we work with a lot of the same suppliers, Joel, that the US group works with. So we're piggybacking on their volume and their volume purchasing so that our franchisees get preferred rates and discounts on all of the other supplies. And the groups that we're working with, they have distribution facilities right across Canada. So, we've sort of set up a master account with that group. And then we just advise them that we've got a new franchisee opening in London. We have a new franchise that's opening in Hamilton. We've got a new franchise that's opening in Newmarket, Aurora. And they know our program, they know our product lineup, they know our pricing, and they set up an account for that particular franchisee for that marketplace. So most of the insulation products and services, are available through one main supplier, but we've got backups in all areas.
So what was impressive was is the territories. I know you're going to be territory driven, which most franchisee like that because you're being protected. What consists of a territory in general?
Yeah, yeah. So a koala territory is 200,000 population. And in that 200,000 in population, we're looking for approximately 50,000, attics. We want to know that they're, not just apartments and not just commercial buildings, but they're a number of single family or multiple family dwellings with attics. And then we take a look at a market. So if it's Hamilton, okay, maybe there's 600,000 people there. So that would be three territories. And then we have one franchisee service the Hamilton marketplace. And that's an exclusive territory to that particular franchisee. And then we get uniformity and consistency in pricing and service in a metropolitan market like that. So there are some big markets like the Ottawas and the Calgarys and the Edmontons and the Vancouver, the Toronto that we have to break up because they're just too large. But a market like Toronto, it'd be nice to have somebody in Tobico, nice to have somebody in Mississauga, nice to have somebody in Brampton, nice to have somebody in North York, and somebody in Midtown or downtown, and somebody in the beaches. So, and all the territories are defined by postal code and municipal boundaries. So there's rhyme and reason as to how we determine those territories, but it comes back to population and the number of addicts that are there.
We have two people on this call from the Alberta market, so I would assume that what we do in Ontario will be the same type of program in Alberta as it would be in Vancouver. There wouldn't be any change pricing or changes, or it'd be the same program across, or do we add different stuff to different programs based on the market.
Yeah. No, all the same across Canada. I guess the only thing I would say is that the trucks are built and assembled in Ontario. So the equipment would originate from here, and franchisee setting up in Calgary would simply need to fly one or two people to Ontario to pick up the trucks and to drive them back. In that, we get the volume purchasing working through the one dealership here. We get the uniformity and consistency in equipment and things like that. So when it comes to troubleshooting, if there's any issue, we know the equipment, we know how to fix the problem, because it's all the same, and it's originated from here. But interesting about Koala started in the warm weather markets in the United States. So it started in Florida and through all the Sun Belt states, and they developed with a pickup truck and a trailer. But as the Koala system moved further north and got up into the northern states like Michigan and Minneapolis or Minnesota, the cold required some differences, and so cold weather markets, like Canada, it's important to have a truck in a truck body that's insulated and has opportunity to be heated. So the spray foam chemicals need to be kept at 20 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and need to be kept warm. So not an issue in the southern states, but certainly an issue in the northern climate. So the truck is a much better solution, and the truck that's behind Joel is going to be the vehicle that we use right across Canada, and ensures that products kept at the right temperature, and everything gets installed exactly as it's supposed to be in a customer's home.
So we're going to have national promotions or national promotions. What do you expect for a franchisee to do in their local community? Is this a brand that's going to be locally involved? Um, Maybe answer that.
Yeah,
And I know you have a special program that you're going to put on all the trucks. Maybe two part questions. Maybe explain that, and also what do you expect from the franchisees to do locally?
yeah, there's so much opportunity for the franchisee to drive business locally. So, like from a national perspective, like in the United States, they've hooked up with like Home Depot and Lowe's and Paul Davis Restoration. So we'll put those national programs together with Canada once we have a few more franchises. It's a little hard to put a national program together when you have one franchise. So those programs will build out over time, just like they did in the U.S. But the local franchisee needs to connect with real estate agents and real estate brokers, because people buy homes and they want to renovate them, and real estate agents can be a good source of referrals. You want to hook up with HVAC companies, people that install heating and air conditioning systems. If they're installing a new air conditioner or a new furnace, maybe it's because that piece of equipment worked too hard, either heating or cooling, because there was insufficient insulation. So a lot of referrals can come from those partners. And same with the restoration companies. Hook up with the local Paul Davis, the local restoration companies. They can hook up with their local Home Depots and their local Ronas and things like that in the short term before we get a national program together. So there's pest control companies, like they're crawling around attics, right, trying to get rid of raccoons and squirrels and things like that. Good source of leads. Hey, I just was at this customer's house. This raccoon family has totally destroyed an attic. You need to remove the insulation. You need to do some disinfecting and deodorizing and some cleanup up there, and install all new insulation now that I've got the attic secure and the animals aren't going to be coming back in. So, those are the kind of relationships that the local franchisee needs to do. And of course, the local franchisee will be spending some money on pay-per-click as part of their local budget, driving leads from local sources. The local franchisee will be mailing out some postcards to homes that have recently changed hands. Doing a renovation. Call Koala to review your insulation requirements. So we've got a marketing playbook, Joel, that's fairly detailed and fairly thick. And as part of the training program, we share that marketing playbook with our prospective franchisees. And if they follow that playbook and execute, the leads come. Um, I haven't shared with you like any house that's been built 2009 or earlier in Canada. Um, they're under insulated. They don't have enough insulation in their attics. They don't have enough insulation in their basements. And of course, if you go back to housing stock that was built in the, you know, the 70s or 60s or 50s, like all of those homes are just grossly under insulated, and they need to be upgraded. So there's just so much opportunity out there, and people need to know that there's a company like Koala that can make their house a lot more comfortable and energy efficient and save the money.
So I wanted to keep this to about 45 minutes. Um,
Yep.
we did get a question, but I'm going to want to just ask if someone's in, before we get to that question, if someone wants to, after this call, uh, get in touch with me, myself, or you, or go into the process. Tell us the process from the time that they inquired between one of us. What would be the process?
Okay, so the first thing that we do, Joel, once you refer somebody that you feel say would be a good candidate for Koala, Sharon, my assistant, and myself would like to meet with that candidate as early as possible, and we do that via Teams or via Zoom, and get to know the person and the area that they're looking at, and what their specific interest is, where they've been, and what they've done, that kind of thing. We go through a very detailed overview. So we have a PowerPoint presentation that will anticipate and answer the majority of their questions. So we want to go through that PowerPoint presentation virtually with the candidate. If it looks like there's a good fit, it's an opportunity that they're looking at, and we feel that they'd be a good fit for our system. We're going to invite them to complete an application form. And then once I get an application form, I call your client back immediately and walk through that application form. And if the qualification is sound, then we invite them through for a discovery day. We like to do our discovery days in Toronto, face to face in our Koala hub, which is just next door to my office. And the candidate has an opportunity to meet our entire team. So we cover sales, we cover marketing, we cover operations, we cover training, we cover IT and software, ongoing support in a lot more detail than, of course, we did here this morning in 45 minutes. And while the your clients here, they're interviewing us, but we're also interviewing them because we want to make sure that it's a good fit. Life is too short to create problems. So we want it to be, a good fit for your client, and want it to be a good fit for Koala. If we feel there's a good fit, then we go through the validation process where we'll hook up your client with some of our franchisees, Canada and the United States, to talk about Koala and their experience with the system. The validation typically goes very well. And then we sign a preliminary approval agreement. And that's where, okay, we'll offer you the franchise for, London. You're signing up for the London opportunity. There's a $10,000 deposit provided. And then we start going through the onboarding process. And one of the first things that we want our franchise candidates to do is to incorporate a company, set up a company bank account, and then we enter into the franchise agreement with that individual's company, and franchise fee gets paid up front, and then we schedule the training and we order the trucks, and we can complete that whole onboarding process. It can go as quickly as the candidate would like, or as slowly as the candidate likes, and it could be a 12 14 16-week program process depending upon who, what, where, when, and why.
Great.
Yeah.
So I'm just I have only one questions, and the audience, if you have any more questions, but we'll answer this question, and then I just want to give yourself a closing statement, and we'll call it a day kind of things. But the question was, and we talked about pricing before, the question was 600K investment, is that for one territory?
Um, the $600,000 is for one territory and the two trucks, and you only need two trucks to get started. So the only additional charge would be the second franchise fee or the third franchise fee if they were buying three territories. First territory is 49,500. Second territory, the fee drops down to $40,000, and third one drops down to $35,000. So the more territories that are acquired, they ratchet down in price.
Thank you very much. No other questions. So, John, thank you very much. Maybe give our community out there that's on this call one piece of advice when to deciding whether or not this business is for them.
Yeah. One of the things that I particularly like about, there's a lot of things I like about this business. The fact that it's a fragmented market, there's no clear leader. There's an opportunity for Koala to become the leader in the insulation industry across Canada. That's pretty exciting. The other thing I like about this business opportunity as well is there's not a lot of employees. So you have two guys that are on the spray foam truck. You got two guys that are on the blow-in truck. You've got somebody helping you with sales, and you have somebody eventually helping you with the operations, all the scheduling, the hiring, the training, and that kind of thing. So there's not a lot of moving parts there. Schedule the jobs Monday to Friday, so you and your employees can have Saturdays and Sundays off if you so desire. So it's a Monday to Friday business, and customers don't want to see you before 8 or 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and the customers want you out of their house by 5 or 5:30 at night. So it's nice to be able to have that work life balance kind of thing, right? Um, Sustainability, that's hot and that's sexy right now. We have to reduce the impact that we're having on climate change, and like I said, a large amount of the CO2 emissions comes from our homes and our commercial and industrial buildings. So we do need to address that. And the government is going to continue to sponsor, improvements in those areas. So it's nice to have the governments as partners in this with grants and rebates and things like that. So lots of good things.
That's excellent, excellent, excellent. You explained the whole process. Amazing. We know each other for a long time, so community, you're getting a well-established support from the franchisor, from the master franchisor with his team. Thank you very much. We'll reach out to everybody on this call, and hopefully we'll meet you for coffee in your office.
Yeah, lots of opportunity. You get the first in, get to pick all the crown jewels.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have yourself a great week, and speak to you all soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joel. Bye
Bye-bye.
for now.